晚上好. So our topic for tonight is about future issues in international business.
国际商务的未来问题。
So here are the chapter objectives. First is summarize the trends, the latest trends in international business and trade. Second is identify the role that technological innovation will have in creating greater efficiency and productivity. Third is present a forecast of how multinational corporations will evolve in the areas of staffing, management style, and location of manufacturing facilities. Number 4, offer other issues that will influence the multinational corporations of the future. Now, this is what 为什么要研究未来? Why do we have to study the future? Not only must international business managers manage their operations in the present, they must also anticipate future changes.
"国际业务经理不仅必须管理他们当前的运营，还必须预测未来的变化。"
Okay. The need to assess future trends that are likely to impact business operations is obvious.
"评估可能影响业务运营的未来趋势的必要性是显而易见的。"
If a business is able to accurately anticipate future trends, it has much more time, 它有更多的时间 to adjust its own business practices and strategies. And when the expected changes actually occur, it will be in an excellent position to respond.
它将处于一个极好的位置来回应。
It is difficult to predict how and where changes will occur, but it is useful to assess future trends.
很难预测变化将如何以及在何处发生，但评估未来趋势是有用的。
Many firms develop sophisticated internal forecasting methods to generate possible scenarios that are likely to have a major impact on the
许多公司开发了复杂的内部预测方法，以产生他们感兴趣的领域。
Other firms use the services of specialized agencies or consulting firms that concentrate on future analysis.
“其他公司使用的服务专门机构咨询公司，专注于未来的分析。
There are, however, a few identifiable broad trends and resulting scenarios that are likely to have a major impact on the functioning and responses of international business.
然而，有一些可识别的大趋势和由此产生的情景，可能会对国际业务的运作和反应产生重大影响。
Future trends that affect international business. One is the European Union integration. Number two, the rise of India and China. Three, protectionism and trade agreements. Fourth, the depreciation of the US dollar. Five, energy policy. Six, global resource depletion. Seven, environmental degradation. Eight, international terrorism. Nine, the Doha Agenda. 10, migration. 11, accounting standards. 12, technology explosion, the information era. 13, the internet. These are the future trends affecting international business.
这些是影响国际业务的未来趋势。
Okay, so first is the European Union integration.
欧洲联盟一体化。
Okay. For this union to be successful in the years to come, this expanding group of countries, which come with a variety of economic histories and cultural backgrounds, expanding group of countries, which come with a variety of economic histories and cultural backgrounds, must figure out a way to succeed without infringing on the national sovereignty of the member states. Okay. Okay, there you go. Oh. There is already talk of changing the requirements in terms of the convergence criteria, thus making the hurdles less strict in the coming years.
已经有人谈到要改变趋同标准方面的要求，最好在未来几年内使障碍不那么严格。
From an economic perspective, many of the current European Union member states have had trouble meeting the convergence criteria as outlined in the Maastricht Treaty. With both France and Germany missing the deficit to GDP hurdle over the last few years.
从经济角度来看，许多目前的欧盟成员国都难以满足马斯特里赫特条约中概述的趋同标准。法国和德国在过去几年中错过了赤字对 GDP 的障碍。
As with any policy, the failure to invoke punishment for exceeding the agreed fiscal constraints of the European Union will lead to the criteria themselves losing significance.
与任何政策一样，未能因超过欧盟的希腊物理限制而援引惩罚，将导致标准本身失去意义。
There is already talk of changing the requirements in terms of the convergence criteria. The final area of concern for the European Union going forward is the successful ratification of the recently completed European Union Constitution.
欧洲联盟今后的最后一个关键领域是成功批准最近完成的欧洲联盟公约。
Should any of the member states not ratify the Constitution in its current form, yet another revision of this document will be required.
如果任何成员国不批准目前形式的宪法，则需要再一版这份文件。
The rise of India and China.
印度和中国的崛起。
India, which has undergone much economic reform to reduce the level of protection from foreign direct investment, has become the recipient of many service sector jobs from the United States and others in the Western world.
印度进行了观察经济改革，以减少外国直接投资的关注水平，已成为美国和西方世界其他国家的许多服务业就业机会的接受者。
Likewise, China has also seen an incredible growth in its annual GDP, which some forecasts will be higher than that of the United States by the year 2050.
同样，中国的年度 GDP 也出现了令人难以置信的增长，到2050年，一些预测将高于美国。
Much of China's expansion has come in the manufacturing sector, with China becoming ever more important in industries such as apparel, textiles, and furniture.
中国的大部分扩张都集中在制造业，中国在服装、纺织品和家具等工业中变得越来越重要。
Given the amount of joint ventures currently being undertaken between China and the Western world, China has been looking for a level of technology transfer from the West that will enable it to begin to manufacture products in some of the upper end segments of industry where it is only currently the low-cost provider.
鉴于中国目前与西方世界之间的合资企业数量，中国一直在寻求来自西方的技术转让水平，使其能够开始在一些行业运营部门生产产品，而这些行业目前只是低成本的供应商。
How long GDP expansion in both China and India will continue is not known.
中国和印度的 GDP 扩张将持续多久尚不清楚。
These economies should continue to successfully supplant much of the lower cost jobs in both the service sector and the manufacturing sector in the Western world, which may increase calls for protectionism in the West in the years to come.
这些经济体将继续成功地为西方世界的服务业和制造业提供大部分成本较低的就业机会，这意味着未来几年西方对保护主义的呼声越来越大。
Next is protectionism and trade agreements. Over the last few years, there has been an increasing desire for the protection of various industries due to competition from Asia. 来自亚洲的金城啊 There will be a push from developing countries for the creation of more bilateral trade agreements, something that some economists have referred to as a spaghetti bowl of world trade agreements.
“世界贸易协定”的意大利面碗。
Okay. All having different preferential arrangements depending on what each signatory country has to offer. As the proliferation of bilateral trade agreements increases, the World Trade Organization may be materially affected. As this organization does not have the ability to resolve disputes between countries that are not engaged in multilateral trade agreements.
随着双边贸易协定的激增，世界贸易组织可能会受到重大影响，因为该组织没有能力解决未参与的国家与多边贸易协定之间的争端。
Pangilan na yan. Okay. Fourth, the depreciation of the US dollar.
美元贬值。
The US dollar has been of significant historical significance in international business.
美元在国际商业中具有历史意义。
Over the last few years, the US dollar has experienced a significant deterioration when compared to the British pound, the euro, and the Canadian dollar.
在过去几年中，与英镑、欧元和加元相比，美元经历了显著的恶化。
While depreciation is good for U.S. exporters in the short term, as their goods are relatively less expensive when compared to the foreign goods priced in the foreign markets, the long-term effect of the depreciation of the dollar could begin to impact foreign portfolio and direct investment into the United States.
什么是贬值对美国出口商来说，在短期内是有利的，因为与外国市场上定价的外国商品相比，他们的商品相对便宜。美元贬值的长期影响可能开始影响外国投资组合和对美国的直接投资。
Some economists have predicted that the continued depreciation of the dollar will lead to many countries relying on an index approach to their foreign reserves.
一些经济学家预测，美元继续贬值将导致许多国家依赖指数方法来衡量其外汇储备。
Rather than holding US dollars as the primary foreign reserve currency, some countries may opt to hold a portfolio of foreign currency, such as the yen, euro, and British pound, along with the US dollar.
而不是持有美元作为主要的外汇储备货币。一些国家弥补持有外币投资组合，如日元、欧元、英镑，随着美元。
To correct the downward movement of the US dollar, other economies such as India, China, Japan, and the European Union not only must become sources of imports to the United States, but also must become consumers of US products and services in their own right.
为了纠正美元的下跌趋势，印度、中国、日本和欧盟等其他经济体不仅必须成为美国进口的来源，还必须成为美国产品和服务的消费者。
This will necessitate both effective world trade agreements and structural reforms in many of the aforementioned economies to increase the level of consumption and GDP growth over the next decade.
“这将需要许多上述经济体的账面有效的世界贸易协定和结构性改革，以提高未来10年的消费水平和 GDP 增长水平。”
Next is number 5. Energy policy.
能源政策。
The rise of China has brought with it an increased demand for oil over the last few years.
在过去几年中， 中国的崛起带来了对石油的需求增加。
石油与酒的增加呢 increase demand. The United States is the world's largest consumer of oil, followed by China.
美国是世界上最大的石油消费国，其次是中国。
Given the high level of industrialization in both China and India recently, and given that this process is expected to increase in the future, both of these countries should exhibit an increase in demand for oil in the coming years.
鉴于中国和印度最近的工业化水平很高，并且考虑到这一过程预计将在未来增加，这两个国家在未来几年都应该表现出对石油的需求增加。
It remains to be seen how the oil producing countries will handle the increase in world oil demand.
石油生产国将如何应对世界石油需求的增加，还有待观察。
Saudi Arabia certainly has a spare capacity from what it is currently producing. But many of the world's other primary sources of oil are producing at levels that are either at or approaching their national daily capacities.
沙特阿拉伯目前生产的石油产量当然有限，但世界上许多其他主要石油来源的产量要么达到本国，要么接近其国家日产能。
Next is Filio. Global resource depletion.
"全球资源枯竭。
Yeah. Okay. The next few decades are likely to be marked by rapid and far-reaching changes in the world economy that will influence international business in a variety of ways.
未来几十年，世界经济可能会发生迅速而深远的变化，这些变化将以多种方式影响国际商业。
The world's natural resources are likely to be depleted rapidly, and substitutes will have to be found.
世界自然资源很可能会迅速枯竭，必须找到替代品。
The depletion of such natural resources as oil, metallic ores, and minerals will weaken the economic position of these countries that rely almost solely on the export of such commodities for their foreign exchange earnings. Ayaw. On the other hand, exclusive monopoly over the technology used to manufacture substitutes could be acquired by large multinational corporations, which will increase their international economic dominance. Number 7 is environmental degradation.
“环境退化”
At the dawn of the 21st century, international concerns about the rapid and extensive deterioration of the world's environment had gained significant public attention. And public action groups had acquired considerable political influences in many countries. 在许多国家 especially 特别是美国很CO environmental groups were also active in many least developed countries. Lesser. In Latin America, Asia, and Africa.
环境团体在拉丁美洲、亚洲和非洲的许多较不发达国家中也很活跃。
There is no doubt that pressures are likely to grow. And they may have several important consequences for multinational corporations.
毫无疑问，工人很可能会增长，他们可能会对跨国公司产生几个重要的后果。
There is likely to be more stringent official regulation of the pollution and environmental efforts of multinational companies manufacturing activities both at home and in host countries.
对于跨国公司在国内和东道国制造活动的污染和环境努力，可能会有更严格的官方监管。
A host country's greater awareness of the harmful effects of manufacturing activity on its local environment is likely to result in tougher environmental standards for multinational corporations setting up overseas operations.
为跨国公司设立海外业务制定更严格的环境标准。
Further, multinational corporations may be required to reduce the environmentally adverse effects of their existing operations by installing more sophisticated pollution control equipment or spending more on remedying existing environmental damage.
跨国公司可能被要求通过安装或先进的污染控制设备来减少其现有业务对环境的不利影响，以便花费更多的钱来弥补现有的环境损害。
Okay. Multinational corporations must also consider the possibility that environmental activists who are increasingly influential in many developing countries will take political action against them.
跨国公司还必须考虑这样一种可能性，即日益有影响力的环境活动家和许多发展中国家将对他们采取政治行动。
Such instances have occurred in a number of places around the world, and it is possible that this tactic may mark a growing global trend.
这种情况发生在世界各地的许多地方，这种策略可能标志着全球趋势的增长。
May problema na naman. For multinational corporations, this scenario implies a need for greater investment in research and development for new environmentally safe production technologies and effective and economical pollution control methods.
或者跨国公司，这种情况意味着需要加大对新的环境安全、生产技术和有效和经济的污染控制方法的研发投资。
In addition to product image, brand image, corporate image, and social image, the MNC of the future will have to be increasingly concerned with its environmental image.
除了产品形象、品牌形象、企业形象、社会形象，未来的跨国公司将不得不越来越关注其环境形象。
The concerns with the environment will also open new business opportunities for the MNCs of the future.
对环境的关注也将为跨国公司未来带来新的商机。
The development of pollution control technologies and equipment by MNCs will put them in a position to market those to other multinational companies in host countries.
艾曼海污染控制技术和设备的发展，将使他们能够在东道国推广另外2家跨国公司。
公司研究发展，他们能够想法，包括的其他跨国公司和公司级，就这样去做的去。Further concerns with the environment will open up demands for new types of technologies aimed at solving some of the world's environmental problems and preventing further damage.
对环境的进一步关注将开启对新型技术的需求。这些技术旨在解决世界上的一些环境问题，并防止进一步的破坏。
Okay. Recycling, waste management, and reforestation are some of the things that are immediately important. 重要的事情. In addition, there is likely to be considerable demand for environmentally sound products.
环保产品的需求
such as biodegradable or recyclable materials.
可生物降解或可回收材料。
可能很大。Next is, pangilan na nga ba? TIPA. International terrorism.
国际恐怖主义。
Sorry. The existing international agreements concerning the security and utilization of international waters must be improved to allow for the prosecution of those that disrupt commercial shipping vessels in the area.
必须改进关于国际水域安全和利用的现有国际协定，以便能够起诉那些扰乱区域内商业船只的人。
Okay. Modernization must be brought to countries that currently harbor or support international terrorist groups.
必须将现代化带到目前窝藏或支持国际恐怖主义团体的国家。
And number 9, the Doha Agenda.
多哈议程。
Okay. So one method for reducing the amount of terrorism
恐怖主义
is increasing the level of modernity and the benefits throughout the world.
提高现代性水平及其在世界各地的利益。
Many of the countries that support international terrorism are in fact failed states.
许多支持国际恐怖主义的国家或实际上失败的国家。
Okay. Nations that are not poor but still support terrorism have yet to see the benefits of globalization reach their poorest citizens. The Doha round of trade negotiations has the goal of improving the lives of those in the developing world via increases in trade with the nations of the developed world.
多哈回合贸易谈判的目标是通过增加与发达国家的贸易来改善发展中国家的生活。
One of the primary area of improvement can be the reduction of protection of the agricultural industries of the developed world.
一个主要的改进领域可以是减少对发达国家农业产业的保护。
Another area of improvement is in the area of trade barriers within the developing nations themselves. As these barriers often prevent the distribution of goods and services that could improve the quality of life for the citizens of lesser developed countries.
另一个需要改进的领域是发展中国家内部的贸易壁垒，因为这些壁垒阻碍了可能改善较不发达国家公民生活质量的商品和服务的分配。
Okay. Next is
移民问题。
10，第10。 Parallel to the concern of too many immigrants in the near term is the potential problem of not having immigrants into the Western world in the long run.
与短期内太多移民的担忧平行的是，从长远来看，没有足够的移民进入西方世界的潜在问题。
Many of the developing countries of the European Union the United States, Canada, and Japan will need new workers in the future given current population trends.
“鉴于目前的人口趋势，欧盟、美国、加拿大和日本的许多发展中国家未来都需要新的工人。
The aging of the citizens in the developed world will continue for the foreseeable future and will require either an increased level of job outsourcing to countries with very young populations, such as India or China,
加向人口非常年轻的国家，如印度或中国，外包工作的水平。
or an ease in immigration requirements to ensure that the necessary occupations are filled in the developed world.
安妮在移民要求，以确保必要的职业在发达国家填补。
And number 11,
会计准则。
over the last few years, there have been corporate fraud scandals in countries such as the United States, Canada, and Russia, and throughout the European Union.
在过去几年中，美国、加拿大、俄罗斯等国家以及整个欧盟都发生了公司欺诈丑闻。
New legislation has attempted to correct ethical problems that have proliferated along with the increased openness of financial markets worldwide.
新的立法试图纠正随着全球金融市场日益开放而激增的道德问题。
Given the amount of publicity supporting the violating companies such as Enron, Nortel, Parmalat, and UCOS.
安然、北电、帕马拉特和尤科斯。
The international business person should expect more regulation in the future as opposed to less.
国际商业人士应该期待未来有更多的监管，而不是更少的监管。
So next is technological explosion, the information era.
技术爆炸，信息时代。
Many major industrial corporations have made large investments in technologies.
许多大型工业公司在技术方面进行了大量投资。
They are likely to find themselves at a significant competitive advantage vis-a-vis their competitors in their own and other countries.
他们很可能会发现自己与本国和其他国家的竞争对手相比具有显著的竞争优势。
The depletion of natural resources and the growing consciousness about the threats to the environment are likely to spur new technological advances and safe and regenerative products.
自然资源的枯竭和对环境威胁的日益意识可能会刺激新的技术进步和安全和再生产品。
Technology is also likely to make the working of international business more efficient and more competitive.
技术也可能使国际业务的工作更有效率和更具竞争力。
The revolution in information and communications technology has already made it possible for a large multinational corporation to monitor simultaneously from a single location the operation of hundreds of its locations and offices spread across different countries and time zones. So the expected increases, there you go, in communications and computing power are likely to make this control even more efficient and economical and add significantly to the multinational corporations, 公司
业务能力
The edge provided by the access to advanced information technology will also expand the scope of international business.
获得先进信息技术所提供的优势也将扩大国际业务的范围。
It will enable corporations to search, locate, analyze, evaluate, and choose new business opportunities and possibilities in different parts of the world with a facility that was not possible in the past.
它将使公司能够在世界不同地区寻找、分析、评估和选择新的商业机会和可能性，并拥有过去不可能的设施。
Okay, so the technology is number 12. And last but not the least is the internet. 互联网. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the third bullet slide. It's apparent that the internet will continue to bridge the gap of geographical distance between a given consumer and a given company, and should increase the level of international trade.
“很明显，互联网将继续弥合特定消费者和特定公司之间的地理距离差距，并应提高国际贸易水平。”
There are numerous small businesses in the world that are based on the internet and that connects buyers and sellers throughout the world in a way before unimaginable.
世界上有许多以互联网为基础的小企业，他们以一种难以想象的方式将世界各地的买家和卖家联系起来。
Okay. So impact of trends. The multinational corporation is likely to remain the dominant form of corporate organizations in international business for several years to come.
在未来的几年里，跨国公司很可能仍然是国际商业中占主导地位的公司组织形式。
Its form and manner of operation, however, are likely to change substantially in response to changes and trends in the business environment.
“然而，随着商业环境的变化和趋势，其运作形式和方式可能会发生重大变化。”
So here are the trends. Okay, so 我们有7 no? Seed ng sa C. Go lang. Chip. Okay, so one, we have the 大公司, then we have the geocentric staffing, and then the 多元文化 管理 经管. Then we have the managerial technocrats.
管理技术官僚、
Okay. Overseas manufacturing facilities, financial integration,
金融一体化、
and the rising labor unrest. Okay, so let's focus on the mega corporation. 那个大公司 Developments in information, communications, technologies, computers, and transportation are likely to shrink the world further and enable easier geographical expansion for major corporations. Information. Computers.
信息、通信技术、计算机和交通的发展可能会使世界进一步缩小，使你们的地理扩张成为大公司的动力。
It is likely that today's corporations seeking expansion will utilize these opportunities to increase the size of their operations.
今天寻求扩张的公司很可能会利用这些机会来增加业务规模。
Although developments in technology are going to be rapid and far-reaching, they are also likely to be extremely expensive.
虽然技术的发展将是迅速而深远的，但它们也可能是极其昂贵的，也可能是极其昂贵的。
Only very large corporations are going to be able to afford the expense of specialized and dedicated computer and communications networks, state-of-the-art manufacturing technologies, and massive instruments needed to build entirely new plants based on the new technologies. These firms will thus have a massive technological and competitive edge over their competitors.
这些公司确实会比竞争对手拥有巨大的技术和竞争优势。
Mergers and acquisitions are going to continue to be common because major international corporations will attempt to either eliminate or join the competition.
并購將繼續施
对不起，对不起，
并购将继续司空见惯，因为大型国际公司将试图淘汰或加入竞争。
Strategic alliances may become more common because major corporations eye the same markets and work toward relationships that share resources, strengths, and competitive advantages. Sorry.
战略联盟可能变得更加普遍，因为大公司是相同的市场，并致力于共享资源优势和竞争优势的关系。
And some of these trends are already beginning to surface. Ay, kaperes ako. Next is TR is geocentric staffing.
战略联盟可能会变得更加普遍，因为大公司。
地心
Okay. The personnel of multinational corporations are likely to become more geocentric than they are today. Ah, 挖口公司的人员可能会让的比今天更具地心lang. Okay. As the number of locations and operations increases, the parent office is likely to find it increasingly difficult to secure executives from the home country to fill positions in all locations.
随着运营地点的增加，母办事处可能会发现越来越难以从母国获得高管来填补所有地点的职位。
Moreover, as overseas personnel join multinational corporations in increasing numbers, a large pool of well-qualified local and third country nationals is likely to emerge and be available for deployment in different operational locations of the globally oriented enterprise.
随着海外人员越来越多的加入跨国公司，很可能会出现一大批合格的当地和第三国国民，并可供全球企业的部署和不同的业务地点使用。
In many developing countries, standards of technical and managerial education are rising rapidly. OK，在许多发展中国家，
在许多发展中国家，艺术和管理教育标准正在
Okay,
许多发展中国家，技术
multinational corporations are finding it useful to recruit personnel locally for manning operations overseas. Even at relatively senior levels.
跨国公司发现，在当地招聘人员来管理海外业务是很有用的，即使是相对较高层的人员也是如此。
Okay. The geocentric corporation of the future. 未来的地险公司很可能拥有一支国际上多样化的管理情形来等物。Okay. That is extremely mobile, regardless of individual nationality. Okay. Number 3 is the multicultural management.
多元文化管理。
Management styles are likely to change considerably over the years as global operations respond to rapid changes.
多年来，随着全球业务对快速变化做出反应，管理风格可能会发生重大变化。
Corporations of the future are likely to incorporate management styles that will adapt to a host country sociocultural environment instead of imposing home country standards and practices.
未来的新人可能会采用适应东道国社会文化环境的管理风格，而不是强加母国的标准和做法。
Okay, so I'll just read this one. The experience gained managing in overseas locations, cultures, and environments is likely to generate a well-defined international management policy.
明确的国际管理政策。
It will be based on a much better understanding of the different sociocultural environments of global corporation operations.
它将基于对全球公司运营的不同社会文化环境的更好理解，
which will definitely improve the interface with local governments, clients, and business associates.
这肯定会改善与地方政府、客户和商业伙伴的联系。
and improve the efficiency and success rate of local operations.
而提高本地运营的效率和成功率。
And then managerial technocrats. Managers of the future must become technocrats, intimately familiar with the latest in communication and computer technologies, to be able to operate in their high-tech office environments.
未来的管理者必须成为技术官僚，熟悉最新的通讯和计算机技术，才能在高科技的办公环境中运作。
There may be a lesser degree of physical effort required because improved communication facilities will cut down the need for the frequent traveling endured by today's international managers.
可能需要较少程度的体力努力，因为改善通信设施将减少对当今国际管理人员经常出差受伤的需求。
Okay. Shiyaw nakalagay dito. Okay. Some indications of this scenario are already available in the form of video conferencing facilities.
视像会议设施。
Okay. Increasing traffic congestion and rising problems of inner city living will increase the development of the home office, which we are currently experiencing.
越来越多的交通拥堵和越来越多的城市生活问题将增加我们目前正在经历的家庭办公室的发展。
which will enable a manager to work from home and be in constant touch with the office via advanced telecommunications facilities.
这将使经理能够在家工作，并通过先进的电信设施与办公室保持联系。
Then overseas manufacturing facilities. Hindi ko napansin. TU. Okay. Overseas manufacturing facilities are likely to continue due to availability of lower labor costs in potential host countries.
由于潜在东道国的劳动力成本较低，海外生产设施可能会继续下去。
As host governments mature politically as well as economically, they are likely to prefer direct investment in their countries by multinational corporations instead of receiving finished products in the form of imports.
随着东道国政府在政治和经济上的成熟，他们可能更喜欢跨国公司在本国的直接投资，而不是以进口的形式接收成品。
Foreign direct investment generally stimulates the local economy, and its benefits can be considerable if the local economy itself is well managed and balanced.
外国直接投资通常会刺激当地经济，如果当地经济本身得到良好的管理和平衡，其收益可能是相当可观的。
Okay. As the trend toward greater openness and market orientation takes root, many host countries are likely to seek foreign direct investment by foreign firms.
随着定向市场更加开放的趋势扎根，许多东道国可能寻求外国企业的外国直接投资。
Either by participation in privatization programs of existing state-owned enterprises or by takeovers of loss-making units in the private sector.
既不
既不
通过
参与
参与现
现有
有国有
国有企
企业的
业的私有化计划，也不收购私营部门；既不参与现有国有企业的私有化计划，也不收购私营部门的亏损单位。
The benefits of the infusion of new technology and managerial skills and the capital gained by the host countries will be recompensed by new business opportunities and a spread of the manufacturing base near the market for the MNCs. Locating production overseas provides access to cheap labor and inexpensive inputs and reduces transit costs.
将生产地点设在海外，可以获得廉价的劳动力和廉价的投入，并降低运输成本。
Moreover, a more open and market-oriented government will be less prone to expropriate or nationalize a multinational corporation's assets.
此外，一个更加开放和市场化的政府将不那么倾向于征用或国有化跨国公司的资产。
This will provide a much better climate for FDI.
这将为外国直接投资提供更好的环境。
And
这将为外国直接投资提供更好的环境。
nasa pangilan na ako. Okay, Tilio. Financial integration. Okay, let's focus on this one. Financial markets of the future are likely to be even more integrated as existing business barriers crumble and the free flow of funds becomes still easier across national borders. Becomes okay, easier.
未来的金融市场可能会更加一体化，因为现有的商业壁垒崩溃，资金的自由流动变得跨越国界。
Oh, nangyari. And I think this is the last. While integration and deregulation are characteristics of today's markets only in the industrialized world. The future may see the addition of new markets to the global financial network.
虽然一体化和放松管制是当今工业化国家市场的特征，但计算机使看到全球金融网络中增加了新的市场。
Sasagot kasi. The markets of the newly industrialized countries, the more advanced developing countries, are likely to be increasingly integrated into the global economy.
新兴工业化国家较发达的发展中国家的市场有可能日益融入全球经济。
And last but not the least is the rising labor unrest.
劳工骚乱加剧，
Okay. Multinational corporations are likely to meet with increasingly demands for higher salaries and wages in most host country operations as expectations rise along the cost of living. With
随着人们的期望与生活成本的上升，跨国公司可能会在大多数东道国的业务中满足对更高工资和工资的日益增长的需求。
the trends in trade unionism, however, are likely to vary.
然而，工会主义的趋势可能会有所不同。
Trade unions have become stronger in many third world countries. especially as worsening living conditions have led to increasing demands for higher compensation levels. While difficult operating conditions have reduced the profitability of multinational corporations.
许多第三世界国家
Anyway,
工会变得更加强大，特别是因为生活条件导致对更高报酬水平的需求增加，而困难的经营条件降低了跨国公司的盈利能力。
Okay, there you go. I think this is about to finish, huh? We're about to finish. Multinational corporations may nevertheless have increasing leverage in dealing with trade unions through their capacity to shift production to different overseas locations.
然而，跨国公司在与工会打交道时，可能具有越来越大的影响力，以使其能够将生产转移到两个不同的海外地点。
Further, greater use of automated manufacturing processes, especially through the use of industrial robots, may lead to less dependence on human labor on the production floor, which will reduce the bargaining power of trade unions.
此外，更多的使用自动化制造工艺，特别是通过使用工业机器人，可能会导致生产车间对人力的依赖减少，这将降低工会的议价能力。
On the other hand, the developed world could see a rise in trade union membership should the level of job losses increase due to such outsourcing and automation.
发达国家完全看到工会会员资格的米饭，由于这种外包和自动化，失业水平将增加。
And the permanence of change. Despite the aforementioned future possibilities discussed, the only thing that we can say that will definitely happen is change.
尽管讨论了上述未来的可能性，但我们唯一可以说肯定会发生的就是变化。
An increasing level of global competition will require many changes in the competitive landscape in which today's corporations compete.
日益激烈的全球竞争将需要对当今企业竞争的竞争格局进行许多改变。
As countries such as India and China have become more integrated with the developing world economies, these economies will have an impact on the future course of international business.
印度和中国等国家与发展中经济体的融合程度越来越高，这些经济体将对未来的国际商业进程产生影响。
Thus, more countries will be able to contribute to the process of globalization. And the multinational corporation will be able to benefit from competing in a truly global marketplace now and in the years to come.
因此，更多的国家将能够为全球化进程做出贡献。跨国公司将能够从现在和今后几年在真正的全球市场竞争中受益。
Okay, I'll read now. This is the last line. 因此，更多的国家将能够为全球化的进程做出贡献。跨国公司将能够从现在和今后期年在的真正的全球市场冲手艺。哎，完了。There you go. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.